What's up, tea people? This is Denny.
And this is James at TeaDB.org, bringing you another episode. We got some smoked and aged black tea here. So 2007 Smoky Lapsang Souchong. This is from WuyiOrigin, who we have probably been repping too much, but
Yeah.
I don't care because they have good stuff.
Very good stuff.
So thank you to Cindy over there for sending us this. And I've had this once, and I'm really curious what Denny is going to say about it because
Wow.
yeah, it's got some smoke to it, doesn't it?
Oh my gosh, it's super peaty. So if you guys have smelled like Scotch whiskey before, that is like this smell in spades. It's a little bit hard on the paint.
So that's a basketball reference
It is.
for you Europeans out there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, here we are.
Drinking some tea.
Yep.
Cool. Aged black teas are kind of uncommon,
Right.
so we'll see if we can taste the age. It's gonna smell like mad. So that's. No, it smells like a black tea. It's got a really good raisin plummy kind of sweetness to it. Very smoky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woodsy. Smells
Totally.
sort of like a very appropriate camping tea.
Yeah, actually, it smells like you've been coming back from a trip and you're hanging around the fire. So, and I just eyeballed the amount of leaf in here. We're using pretty much boiling water here. Gonna do this another little second here just for the first steeping, and then I'll do a flash steeping afterwards.
And Denny, you just came back from traveling. Are these sorts of black teas easy on the stomach, or are they for yourself, I guess? Because I know raw pour, especially young raw pour,
Yeah.
can be pretty rough on the body if you're already feeling a little bit of travel fatigue.
I'd say that if it's more roasted, then it tends to be lighter.
Okay.
I would probably only drink. I like having some food in my stomach before I drink tea, honestly, these days. So it would have to be a roasted oolong, a heavily roasted black tea, or like a white tea for me to drink it basically without anything in my stomach.
Okay.
At this point, I'm an old man, so.
So, like, what about like just like an Oriental beatty or something like that? That's not super heavily.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I think making sure not to oversteep it is key there. Some like really old raw pu'er, some ripes, those work well for me too. So it just depends a little bit.
So oxidized, fermented, or roasted.
Yeah,
Generally
pretty much.
Good,
Yeah. Cheers. Still light, but it's got good flavor. Lots of hints of what's going to come.
Yeah.
Not as smoky tasting as it smells initially.
Right. It's a bit, I don't know, piney, woodsy. Can you taste the age at all?
Age can appear to me sometimes as a vacuous thing, like what's not there. So sometimes I would expect this black tea, if it were young, to have a lot more sweetness. It has a little bit more mineraliness. I think that's probably all I'm sort of would say. If I had this blind, probably wouldn't be able to tell, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
The smoke is excellent. There's a little bit of that medicinal pininess, like you had mentioned, that's showing up. Our production assistant's dog outside.
Yeah, they brought their dogs to work today, but I'm allergic, so we had to
Take them outside.
Yeah.
Studio 9 out there.
Yeah.
It's where everyone smokes.
Where they film Friends. Wait, that show's no longer on the air.
Moving on.
Yeah.
I'm tasting the smoke. Even with this first steeping, it's got like a nice residual flavor, strong, definitely peaty. It definitely has a element of age to it, I'd say.
Right. And if you knew this was a lap song, and considering that like lap song, like if you knew it was a smoke lap song, and knowing that smoke lap songs are quite pungent and it can be quite smoky. Does this taste less smoked, or is the smoke a little bit less front and center than it would be for maybe something that was like 2018 and a smoked lapsang.
I think that it definitely does have more of the aroma and less of the flavor in the cup, at least for the first steeping. We'll see how this one goes. But at least initially, my impression has been that it tastes... The smokiness is evident. I would probably guess that this is a lapsang, but having lapsang itself tends to taste smoky, plus this being smoked gives it an extra interesting character that, you know, yeah, and it's aged. So there's a lot going on in this tea. It would be hard for me to just know blind what's up with this one, definitely. So, but it's good. There's definitely those elements of chocolatiness from the black tea as well. Really tasty so far.
Yeah, cheers. It's interesting. The smoke is sort of fading a bit into the background, at least for me.
Yeah, it has that medicinal vibe. I think that's where the age is coming out. I think that also I'm anticipating flavors that don't show up, which I think is also part of the age thing. So some of those like sweeter notes of fruit, it's like they're just muted a little bit, which is interesting. You know, it's not bad at all. It's good. It's interesting.
Yeah. A little burlier than I think your average black teas for those that are sort of just trying to place this in the black tea spectrum.
Still plenty of sweetness, though. I don't mean to misrepresent that.
Yeah, it's a good mix, actually,
Yeah.
of like burly, woodsy notes and light smoke, and then sort of sweeter notes with maybe hints of fruit.
And I kind of expected this to... I'm going to let this hang out for a bit. I kind of expected it to be a little bit more punching in the last thing.
Yeah.
So, thumbs up if you like just punch emojis in the comments section.
Yeah. Yeah. Lots of punching emojis. Is that's got to be an emoji.
People,
I've never used that
is.
one personally.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been used on me.
That's terrible.
Anyways. So I'm going to let this hang out for maybe even a second longer. I want to really test this and make sure we're going all in on it.
Right.
And I used a fair amount of leaf, too.
Yeah. Mom test?
Yes. I think so. I think it's sweet enough. There's some interesting flavors to it, definitely. So
Seems pretty forgiving to brew as well.
yeah, seemingly very forgiving.
Yeah. And what about the Denny Ultralight Challenge? Would you take this tea with you in your endeavors?
Well, I think so. For a grandpa style brew, this would work quite well because it's tolerant to quite a bit of a long steep. So whereas something like a green tea that's young wouldn't work nearly as well because it's going to be too hot and you can't drink it all at once. This would be, I think you could throw this in cold water too and it would perform quite well. So
yeah,
I'd say probably pretty good.
Yeah, I think the forgiving aspects of this, as well as sort of the woodsy aspects of it, could make a nice combination for taking this tea in a more outdoors setting.
Yeah, the smoke, I feel, really comes out on the aroma in the cup. Maybe less so in the liqueur. Not that it's not smoky, but it's not as peaty as Scotch, which is just like sinuses on fire peatiness. So
right.
This isn't overwhelming in the smokiness. I think it's good. It's balanced. It's not like just one thing, which is smoky. So you can definitely taste the black tea in this.
Yeah.
So let's keep going. All right, steep numero tres.
Cheers.
Haha, that's Spanish.
What's it in Spanish?
I have no idea.
7? Steep number 19 here, guys.
I'd say
it's quite different. Actually.
Yeah, I'd say that we're losing a little bit of the velvetyness and the syrupiness of the previous steeps. We're getting a little bit more of the minerals.
Yeah, a little grainy, oaty almost. Yeah.
Into more of the black tea, maybe some Yunnan tea flavors going on a little bit. Sweet, not at all bitter or tannin.
Right.
You know, I'm gonna reheat the water.
Do one last one?
Yeah, definitely. And the leaves have filled up a lot of the brewing vessel, but not completely. I'd say 70% of it, probably.
Yeah.
Something like that, maybe a little bit more. And quite a bit of uniformity in terms of the actual leaf quality. A lot of the colors remain the same throughout, so it's not like we're assuming they look like the same kind of length, so probably not some sort of mix, probably just a singular source, one farm, or these aren't wild picked, right?
It does not say it here, so.
I don't think so. And yeah, the leaves look quite good. Nice, and one thing that folks out there can look for would be noticing some cuts along the edges of the leaves themselves, which would show that they've been picked by a machine versus by hand. So you can see that unlike the machine pick leaves, while these ones do have indentations on the side, that's just the natural, how the leaves actually look and work. There's no cuts or anything like that. So there's a little more care involved there. It's a small thing. It doesn't mean you can't have something that's good from a machine picked tea. It just is more likely to be a little bit of a larger scale production.
Mm-hmm.
So,
makes sense.
Yeah. Let's let this hang out. Let's give it a final stress test and see.
Right.
I think this tea probably isn't going to last a lot longer.
Seems like it's kind of on its last leg, so
yeah.
Maybe this is probably going to be it, but you might be able to get one more if you really, really wanted to.
Yeah, and then you can throw this in a small, 12 ounces of cold water, throw it in the fridge, and then have it in the summertime. I think would be excellent, just as a little iced beverage. So shout out to all the haters who don't like iced tea. Subscribe.
Yeah.
I'm kind of actually eyeballing the liqueur a little bit. This brewing vessel is great because the bottom of it is white, and that's one reason why Gai ones tend to be white on the inside. Porcelain is that it's easier to see the liqueur.
Right.
While you usually are going to use a white cup like these, although these have seen some use, dude.
Yeah.
They're like your teeth. They're tea stained.
My teeth have seen some use as well.
I know, right? Yeah. Yeah, my dentist is like, so, do you drink a lot of coffee? Like, I have a cup of coffee a day. It's like, really? Like, I drink a lot of tea, though. Like, yeah, it looks like that.
Yeah.
So
shout outs to everyone who's got the tea-stained teeth and whose dentist is, you got something to say.
Green tea is a good source of fluoride.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that means it'll still stain your teeth, though, right?
It will. You'll have horrific-looking British people teeth.
Just kidding. The British
shout out to our audience in England, but totally kidding. But you'll have healthy teeth. So fluoride, it's either the next greatest conspiracy theory, or it's just helping you out with your teeth.
I think it's helping out.
I think I've offended enough people on this episode to call it a TeaDB episode.
Mm-hmm.
Success. Cheers.
Cheers. It's pretty good steep, actually.
Yeah. That smokiness, it's so interesting because it's so aromatic on the dry leaf, but it's subtle and balanced in the cup. It's really nice. It's really nice. Yeah. I love how this tea is earthy, woody. It's a little bit sweet. It hints at fruit, but doesn't give you the whole shebang there. Yeah. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I'd almost say this is the best steep, and usually you expect some of the earlier ones to be, so I think it just took a little time to open up.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I had actually used hotter water for every single steeping. I think if we'd used boiling on the second steeping, it might have been even better. Because I love the viscosity early.
Right.
So.
No hints of astringency or bitterness throughout the entire session.
Yeah, you can take this to town. And shout out to WuyiOrigins. Google them. We'll probably throw a link in the description. Maybe
probably will. We'll think about it. Yeah.
Great teas. Hard to mess those teas up. Another home run here, I think. Definitely something that's worth checking out.
Yeah.
Unique. Try some Lapsangs first before you try this, I'd say.
Yeah.
Just to have an idea of how this is different than a typical Lapsang.
For sure, yeah. This would be kind of an odd intro, just because normally people aren't having Lapsangs when they're 12 years old or whatever. They're drinking them when they're a year or two.
And if you're 12 years old and drinking tea, congratulations, and subscribe. Subscribe to all of our 12-year-old audience out there.
Shout outs. I'm sure there's some. Well,
I don't know.
Actually, I don't know.
Subscribe, go to TeaDB.org, go to the things, click the things, like the things, click on the ads. Don't click on the ads. Do we have ads? We might have ads.
Use AdBlock. Do whatever you want. Just hit subscribe.
It's all good. We love you guys. And check out WuyiOrigins. And we'll see y'all next time.
Cheers.
Cheers. This is a terrible outro. Whatever.